This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Escambia County Academic Challenge presented by WSRE. The Escambia County School District is pleased to partner with WSRE to showcase some of our area's best and brightest high school students. I'm Jonathan Thompson, the host and moderator for tonight's match. This evening's competition will feature Tate High School and Washington High School. I'll now ask the players from Tate to introduce themselves.
I'm Blake. My favorite subject is history.
My name is Ryan, and my favorite area of study is geography.
I'm John, and my favorite subject is history.
I'm Shane. My favorite subject is science.
And the coach for Tate is Tristan Harris. I'll now have the players from Washington introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Arvin, and my favorite subject is math.
I'm Zine, and my favorite subject is English.
I'm Emily, and my favorite subject is science.
I'm Caitlin, and my favorite subject is history.
And the coach for Washington is Betsy Woolley. Please join us after this short break, and we will commence tonight's match.
There is one stage that is the Met and Carnegie Hall. It is the Kennedy Center and a club in Austin. It is closer than any seat in the house, no matter where you call home. PBS, the great American stage that fits in every living room. Supporting your PBS station brings the arts home.
Welcome back. Teams will have two 10-minute halves in which to answer a variety of toss-up and bonus questions. Students, if you're ready, we'll begin. First toss-up. This abolitionist moved to Kansas in 1855. A year later, he led a raid in which 5 people were dragged out of their beds and hacked to death at Pottawatomie Creek. His most famous action came on October 16, 1859. On that date, he and his men seized an armory and took
Tate,
60...
Player 3.
Nat Turner.
That is incorrect. I will continue. On that date, he and his men seized an armory and took 60 hostages. Name this man whose 2 sons were killed by Marines the next morning, while he himself was soon hanged for this raid on Harper's Ferry.
Washington, Player 2.
Shea.
That is incorrect. It was John Brown. Toss-up. Also known as Messier 31, it is about 3 million light years away and could impact us in about 3 billion years. It has a double nucleus and is classified as a spiral galaxy. Name this part of the local group that has more stars than any other such galaxy.
Tate, Player 3.
Andromeda.
That is correct. For your bonus, identify these Egyptian gods for 10 points each. First, usually represented with the head of a falcon, this sun god was the supposed ancestor of all the pharaohs.
Ra.
Ra.
That is correct. Next, represented with the head of a jackal, this god was the guide to the region of the dead where their souls were judged by Osiris.
Anubis.
That is correct. Toss-up. This novel consists of short chapters told from the points of view of its characters, including the dead mother who is central to the story. One of the book's chapters consists entirely of the sentence, "My mother is a fish." The main story involves a trip across the Mississippi countryside to bury the deceased mother. Name this novel about Addie Bundren and her descendants, written by William Faulkner.
Tate, Player 1.
Sound of the Fury.
Incorrect. That novel is As I Lay Dying. Toss-up. This art movement can be broken down into analytic and synthetic phases. The analytic phase often involved the same object or person being shown from different angles, while the synthetic phase often involved attaching things to the canvas. Prominent during the early 20th century, it was influenced by Paul Cézanne. Name this movement most associated with Georges Braque and Pablo Picasso.
Washington. Player 2.
Cubism.
Cubism is correct. For your bonus, identify these parts of a flower for 10 points each. First, these leaf-like structures enclose and protect all other floral parts during the bud stage. Together they form the calyx.
Petal.
Close, it's the sepals. Next, derived from one or more sporophylls, these are the female reproductive organs of the flower and are composed of the stigma, styles, and ovary.
No answer.
That would be the pistil. This is a calculation question. Question, what is the measure of each interior angle in a regular decagon?
Washington. Player 3.
36 degrees.
Incorrect. Correct answer is 144 degrees. Toss-up. Following the failure of the self-strengthening movement, the group behind this revolt wanted to overthrow their own government, but eventually focused more on destroying foreigners.
Tate. Player 3.
Boxers are the Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists.
That's very good, thank you. Boxers is just fine. For your bonus, identify the following Nobel laureates for 10 points each. Number 1, name any 2 of the 3 men awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1962 for their explanation of the structure of DNA.
Watson and Crick.
Watson and Crick.
That is correct, and the lesser known one is Maurice Wilkins. Next, several scientists have received a Nobel Prize more than once. This man won his prize in chemistry for his research on bonding and his Peace Prize for his efforts to secure a ban on nuclear testing.
No answer.
That would be Linus Pauling. Toss up. This is inside almost all cells. In prokaryotes, it always contains DNA. In eukaryotes, it rarely contains DNA. Typically, it is about 2/3 water and contains a high concentration of proteins and all the organelles. Name this part of the cell between the cell membrane and the nucleus.
Tate. Player 4.
Cytoplasm.
That is correct. For your bonus, identify these acts which angered British colonists in America for 10 points each. First, imposing the first direct tax on colonists paid directly to England, this 1765 act taxed all printed materials.
Stamp Act.
The Stamp Act.
That is correct. Number 2, also passed in 1765, this act required colonists to house British troops and feed them.
The Quartering Act.
The Quartering Act.
That is correct. Toss up. Born in 1900, this writer's only novel was published in 1936. Her first fiancé died in World War I, and her first husband left her after 3 months. People who knew her claimed that the fiancé was the inspiration for Ashley Wilkes, and the husband was the inspiration for Rhett Butler. Name this woman whose only novel was Gone with the Wind. That would be Margaret Mitchell. Toss up. Chopin was the first person to write these as individual pieces, completing 4 of them. Typically, they are parts of larger pieces, similar to minuets, but quicker and more lighthearted. Their name comes from the Italian word for joke. Give this Italian musical term beginning with the letter S.
Tate. Player 3.
Sonata.
Incorrect. Correct answer is scherzo. Toss-up question. It is defined as a long, narrow inlet of the ocean with steeply sloping sides. Name this geographic feature that is often
Tate.
associated
Player 2.
Fjord.
with Norway. That is correct. For your bonus, answer these about French composers and their works for 10 points each. First, this composer of Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun also composed the Suite Bergamasque, which includes his famous Clair de Lune.
Bizet.
Incorrect. That's Debussy, Claude Debussy. Next, this symphonic poem by Paul Dukas was based on a Goethe ballad about an enchanted broomstick and notably appeared in Disney's Fantasia.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Very good. That is correct. Toss up. If you make a simplifying assumption in a differential equation, this quantity can be given as m times g divided by k. For one type of graph, this quantity is the horizontal asymptote. It is much lower if the moving object is in a liquid state or is spread out. Name this quantity which is reached when the drag force cancels out the force of gravity, causing an object to fall at constant speed.
Tate. Player 2.
Terminal velocity.
That is correct. For your bonus, answer these about an African-American author and his works for 10 points each. First, this poet, the preeminent voice of the Harlem Renaissance, co-wrote the play Mulebone with Zora Neale Hurston and penned the well-known poem Harlem.
Langston Hughes.
Langston Hughes.
That is correct. Next, this Langston Hughes poem features a piano player doing the lazy sway on Lenox Avenue while playing the titular music about his fatigue with life.
No answer.
That would be the Weary Blues. Calculation. Question, how many sides does a convex polygon have if the number of diagonals is twice the number of sides? That would be 7. Toss up. This play begins with a prologue in heaven and ends with the couplet, "Eternal womanhead, lead us on high." Published in 1808 and 1832, it is considered by many people to be the modern world's greatest myth and the greatest work of German literature. Name this play in 2 parts that was written by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe and centers around the title character's bargain with Mephistopheles.
Tate. Player 3.
Lauralee.
Incorrect. And that marks the end of the half. The correct answer was Faust. Please join us after the break for a score check and the second half.
When you support your PBS station, you're doing more than supporting the programs you love. You're supporting possibilities. You're making sure there's a place for independent voices, ideas, and perspectives. You're opening children's minds, helping them discover who they are and what they can be. You're giving everyone the chance to find inspiration from the arts. And you're opening doors to the wonders of the world. To discover more, experience more, be more. Support possibilities. Support your PBS station.
The whole Earth is big. Like, go to different places, look everywhere, find stuff. It's fun. You have to bring your safari cameras to take pictures of the safari things. You need to learn how to explore the world.
Welcome back. At the half, the score is Tate High School with 115 points, Washington High with 10 points. Tate has made a couple of substitutions at the half. I'll now have those players introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Noah and my favorite subject is math.
Hi, I'm Ian and my study of choice is mathematics.
Thank you, players. Toss-up question. It lasted for about 11 months, ending on the 9th day of Thermidor during year 2 of the new calendar, and it was described as nothing other than prompt, severe, and inflexible justice. Rules were made by the Committee of Public Safety, including...
Player 4.
Reign of Terror.
That is correct. For your bonus, answer these about a certain poetic form for 10 points each. First, this Italian term describes stanzas of 3 lines with rhyme scheme ABA, BCB, CDC, etc.
Sonnet.
Incorrect, it's terza rima. Second bonus, the term is Italian because of the popularization of terza rima by this 14th century epic poem by Dante.
Inferno.
I will accept that. The Divine Comedy is also the full title. Toss-up question. In 1962, this psychologist wrote Toward a Psychology of Being. He is best known for a concept he developed during the 1940s that classifies human needs as physiological, safety, belonging, esteem.
Tate, player 4.
Maslow.
That is correct, Abraham Maslow. For your bonus, identify these waterfalls for 10 points each. First, these 3,212 feet tall falls, the tallest in the world, are found in Venezuela and flow into the Chorun River.
Victoria Falls or something?
Angel Falls.
That is correct. Next, these falls found in Africa are the largest in the world and empty into their namesake lake, a tributary of the Nile.
Victoria Falls.
That is correct. Toss-up question. These can be classified as lateral, terminal, ground, or end. The end type is either a ridge or low hill running perpendicular to the direction of ice movement that forms at the end of a glacier when the ice is melting. Name this word that refers to an accumulation of rock, boulders, and debris transported by a glacier and finally deposited by it.
Tate, player 3.
Avalanche.
Incorrect.
Washington, player 2.
Crevice.
Incorrect, it's a moraine. Toss-up. Reduced to poverty after victories by Augustus Caesar, this poet later gained a patron who gave him an estate in Tivoli. Some of his sayings, such as Carpe Diem, are used in modern times as motivational quotes. Name this Roman, a contemporary of Virgil, who wrote many odes, satires, and epistles, as well as the book Ars Poetica.
Tate, player 3.
Herodotus.
Incorrect. That would be Horace. Toss-up. This former Israeli prime minister grew up in Milwaukee. As prime minister, she tried many times to arrange peace settlements with other countries, but the Yom Kippur War in 1973 and the lack of readiness it demonstrated in the Israeli army led to the end of her career. Name this woman the first female leader of the nation of Israel. That would be Golda Meir. The next question involves calculation. Question: lines AB and CD are parallel, and lines AD and BC meet at point E, which is between the two parallel lines. If AB equals 6, AE equals 9, BE equals 10, and CD equals 8, then find the length of segment AD. Correct answer is 21. Toss up. This disease is caused by a specific type of bacteria which enters the body through an open wound and causes muscles to contract. Fortunately, there is a vaccine for it, and if a person becomes infected, there are drugs to treat the cause and symptoms.
Tate, player 3.
Tetanus.
Tetanus is correct. For your bonus, answer each of the following about a Joseph Heller novel that is set during World War II for 10 points each. First, this man signs his letters Washington Irving and shows up to a roll call completely naked. He hates having his number of bombing missions raised, but is unable to be mentally disqualified for them due to the titular quagmire in the novel in which he is featured.
No answer.
That would be Captain John Yossarian. Next, this is the 1961 novel that features Captain Yossarian, as well as such colorful characters as Doc Danica and Colonel Cathcart.
Catch-22 would be my guess.
Catch-22?
That is correct. Toss up. This term refers to celebrations mentioned in chapter 25 of Leviticus. Because of its associations with the freeing of slaves, it has been appropriated.
Player 3.
Jubilee.
That is correct. For your bonus, identify the following locations that suffered natural disasters for 10 points each. Number 1. In 1900, this city in Texas was ravaged by a hurricane that killed over 8,000 people.
Austin.
Galveston.
That is correct. Next, the 1755 earthquake and subsequent tsunami in this European city is mentioned in Voltaire's novella Candide.
No answer.
That would be Lisbon in Portugal. Toss up. This artist's paintings include Number 10, 1949, and Number 32, 1950. In 1947, this abstract expressionist began using the technique known as drip painting, and he was sometimes derisively called Jack the Dripper. Name this American painter who died in a car accident in 1956.
Tate, player 3.
Jack Reacher.
Incorrect.
Washington, player 2.
Colic.
Incorrect. You're close. It's Jackson Pollock. Toss up. After being in existence for at least 1,000 years, they were halted in 393 AD by Emperor Theodosius because of its associations with paganism. They were recontinued in 1896 by Pierre Baron de Coubertin.
Player 3.
Olympics.
That is correct. Your bonus involves calculation. Find the following about rational functions for 10 points each. First, find one of the two vertical asymptotes for the rational function f of x equals 1 over the quantity x squared plus x minus 2 end quantity. Answer, please.
-2.
That is correct. Next, find the horizontal asymptote for the rational function f of x equals 3x squared over the quantity 2x squared plus x plus 1 closed quantity.
3/2.
That is correct. Toss-up question. It is the term for the hollow ball of cells marking the end stage of cleavage during early embryonic development. Name the term for this cell sphere that is followed by the process of gastrulation.
Washington, player 4.
Blastocyst.
That is incorrect.
Tate, player 3.
Placenta.
Incorrect. The correct answer is blastula. Toss up. Its opening line is, "To the red country and part of the gray country of Oklahoma, the last rains came gently, and they did not cut the scarred earth." This novel begins with a character who has just been released after serving 4 years in prison. It proceeds to tell the story of his family moving to California. Name this John Steinbeck novel.
Tate, player 3.
Grapes of Wrath.
That is correct. For your bonus, answer these about quantum physics for 10 points each. First, Erwin Schrödinger's wave equation treats a hydrogen atom as this type of wave. which occurs when reflected waves interfere constructively with incident waves. The best example is a plucked guitar string.
No answer.
That's a standing wave. Next, this principle states that no pair of identical particles can simultaneously occupy the same quantum, or in other words, in a given atom, no two electrons can have the same 4 quantum numbers.
The Pauli exclusion principle?
That is correct. Calculation. Question: how many handshakes will take place if everybody in a room shakes hands with everybody else once and there are 20 people in the room?
Washington. Player 4.
400.
Incorrect.
Tate. Player 2.
91.
Incorrect. The correct answer was 190. And that sound means we have reached the end of the second half. Please join us after the break for the final score.
TV can be a child's window to the world. What will they see?
Welcome back. The final score for tonight's match is Tate High School with 255, Washington with 10. I would like to thank the students, coaches, and volunteers for making tonight's match possible. Please join us again here on WSRE for more of the Escambia County Academic Challenge. Thank you and good evening.